Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and the Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Hello and welcome into a Friday edition of Sports Scene. As you listen on WRUF, I'm Steve Russell. We are coming to you live today from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Not only is Gator baseball playing here this weekend, but so was Gator softball. Actually flew up together. Some of the staff with softball flew up with us here. So looking forward to a big weekend here in Fayetteville. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes, but I want to get to our first guest here because she is the new Florida women's basketball coach. Tammi Reiss now joins us live here on Sports Scene. Coach, thank you for taking the time and welcome in.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's an absolute pleasure. This is my first official interview with someone as repping the Gator brand.
How about that? Well, honor to have you, Tammi. I guess, first of all, I really loved a lot of things that you said in the press conference. For those who've listened to me for a long time, I was the play-by-play voice of women's basketball for a long time when Coach Ross was here, Coach Peck was here, Coach Butler was here. So, I've always had an affinity for Florida women's basketball. What attracted you to this job?
Well, the first and foremost is, I knew the history of Gator women's basketball. And like you just said, Carol Ross, for me, when I was in college and playing, she had this program rolling. I played against all the greats in college. And then in the pros in the WNBA, Tammy Jackson, Merlekia Jones, Bridget Pettis, Muriel Page, Dee Nasty, Delisha Milton. So I knew what Gator basketball meant and what it could be. Championship culture in everything they do. When I was down on campus and had the fortunate ability to have a head coach's dinner and drinks with everyone, the greatness in the room was incredible. Some coaches, 14 national championships. Everywhere I turned, it was a champion. It was greatness. And so to be in that type of environment, learning from the best, how they do it, the expectation there of being a champion, obviously the academic prowess of UF, being a student athlete means everything to me. I take, academics very seriously and the reputation of the school in that respect. And then ultimately it came down to the commitment that they were willing to make to women's basketball, to resource it properly, to have the ability to compete to win. That's imperative. And I really was impressed with Scott's and the Board of Trustees and the rest that they were committed to trying to improve women's basketball and make it a competitive sport in the SEC. And then we talk about the SEC. It's a gauntlet. It's the best of the best. I came to challenge myself, and, I wanted that next level. And the SEC women's basketball, that's next level. You look down the sideline, you got Vic Schaefer taking off the jacket. Look on the other sideline, you got Kim Mulkey. And then you turn around and you got Dawn Staley. So I wanted that. I wanted it. I want to compete against the best. And so for me, that was very, very important. And then the people at that school, they're family oriented. I'm looking for a family culture and just to work alongside really, really good people. So all of those things, throw it in a pot, mix it up. That's why I chose UF.
I like it. How'd you get into coaching?
Well, my first gig was after I graduated from the University of Virginia. I left and went up to New York City, and I was an actress, drama school, working the beat of, auditions. And my college coach called me back and said, Tammy, I want you to come back down. I was 22 years old. She said, I think you'd be a great assistant coach. And so I went back down, and I did it for 2 years, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Just did not fit my lifestyle. As at that point in my life, I wanted to do other things than just basketball. And so I went on to act. I went on to own a nightclub. I went on to have my own TV shows and work for K-Jazz and the Utah Jazz. I owned a day spa and salon. I owned my own training business. I ran Gold's Gyms and Bally's Total Fitness. So there were so many more things I wanted to do other than just basketball. So I took a hiatus for 15 years, and then I got the itch again. I missed it. And in 2010-11, after a career in the WNBA, playing and coaching and doing all those other things, my passion and love for the game brought me back. And so I've been coaching ever since.
That's a great, great story. That really is. I love that. If a fan comes out and watches a typical team of yours play, what will they see? What's the style? What do you want to bring to the court with those players?
First and foremost, the biggest compliment a coach could get is when a fan or anyone walks away from the game, they can come up to you, shake your hand, and say, "God dang, your kids play hard. They compete." That's that. You got to show up, and you're going to play hard for me. You're going to go through a brick wall. That's the standard. The second thing is they play disciplined basketball. After you watch us play, you'll know what our identity is. You'll know if we're playing fast and we want to score fast, and we're in an open system. You'll know defensively if we're trying to turn you over and we're trying to get aggressive and be on the ball. But you'll say whatever you say is, she teaches them well. They're very disciplined in everything they do. I know their purpose. And those are the two things out of everything. I hope that people, when they come watch us play, the brand of basketball we do, it's those two things are really key for me.
Tammi, have you had a chance to talk to a lot of members of the team? How has that gone? And then the second part of that is, I don't know if anybody ever envisioned rev share and NIL and all that, but that's certainly part of the game now. How much has it changed the game for you, if any?
Well, yes. Coming down, I had the initial, I flew down for a couple days, obviously to meet the team, talk to them, have a press conference and have the opportunity to spend some time on campus. And now I'm back in Rhode Island buttoning some things up before I come down next week. So I met the team briefly, and then, now it's individual calls. And then as I get down there next week, face-to-face meetings with them and really get to spend some time with them, try to retain who wants to really be at UF, who wants to play for me, who wants to still, put that Gator on their chest. And we'll go from there. So short answer is yes, a little bit. Next week is the face-to-face. Next week is the true relationship building. And then the second part is NIL. I actually love it. That's my business side. That's my background. At Rhode Island, obviously, I handled our contracts and our salary cap is how I look at it. That's the fortunate part of being in the WNBA back in the day, watching the Utah Jazz build their draft, watching the salary cap, watching how they construct the value of each player. And, who, at what level do we have a salary cap? Who, number 1 and number 5, is there really that much difference? But the millions of dollars that we have to pay to get number 1 or here. So just learning the business. Way back when I never thought in a million years I would be doing the same thing now in college basketball. So I love it. That's like heaven for me. And so I enjoy the NIL piece. I still believe you can have transformational coaching, character, integrity, morality, but, and balance it with, some worth that the players are worth. And so that's like a puzzle for me. I love putting it together. And I don't mind it. That's the fluidity of, where we are in college sports. And so I've embraced it. And it's the one part away from X and O's. If you've only been a college coach and you've never owned a business or you've never dealt in that realm, there was a learning curve. I think what differentiated me from, I did so many other things when it comes to business that I understand that's the language that I speak and I like it. So I enjoy it. I embraced it. I try to sharpen my skills with it, and it's something that I think will be invaluable walking into this job on how we're going to roster construct with the rev share and with the collective that we have. And that's my job.
That's fascinating. I just think that's such a cool thing. All those things that you did, owning the businesses I didn't like to coach, and then you came back to it. That's really a cool story. Tammi, I appreciate you taking the time. I know how busy you are. Thank you for doing it. When you get settled, I'd love to have you in the studio, maybe take some calls from some fans as you get settled. But thank you for taking the time today to do it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Steve. And I look forward to getting acclimated. And I would love to come in the studio and spend some time with you. And in the meantime, I say that up here all the time. Go Rhodey. Go Gators.
There you go. All right, Tammi. Thank you. All right. Appreciate her being on with us here. The newly hired Florida women's basketball coach joining us live here on Sports Scene. Very impressive. And you know what? Think about what she just said in terms of owning a business and things like that. And she hated the coach. And that's just so refreshing to hear, somebody, tell the truth like that. Normally, we're coming to you from the Gator Trim Light studio, but you know where that is, right? They're your go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting, but also a lot more. Pool enclosures, businesses to decks and landscape lighting. They do it all. And you can visit GatorTrimLight.com to find out more. We're fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you when you go see them. And coming up, we'll take a break, and hopefully we're going to talk Arkansas softball. Courtney Deifel, their coach, hopefully is going to join us next as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Harper Bowman. Gator softball is back in action after a close game against Stetson. Pitcher Jocelyn Erickson believes her team's batting lineup is a key to their success as a whole.
It's fun hitting behind Tay. I mean, our whole lineup is legit, so I know any of us can get it done. But me and her, we got some juju going before the plate. We always talk a little bit to each other before she goes out, so it's fun.
Florida will start their next series against Arkansas tonight at 7. Gator baseball will also be paying the Razorbacks a visit this weekend. Florida is looking to keep their momentum after a big win against rival Florida State. Get coverage of the game tonight with WRUF starting at 6:55. In other sports news, Florida lacrosse is becoming a team to keep your eye out for. The Gators are looking to tack on another win to their 5-game streak this weekend in Arizona. Florida will take on Arizona State tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Friends, if somebody's been in business for 45 plus years, doesn't that tell you something? Trust, longevity. Well, that is the case with my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville. The Cousins family has operated that business for the past 45 plus years, and they specialize in just one thing. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Great variety, great selection. I'm driving one now, have been for years. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Gator Nation, ready to light it up? Gator Trim Light has already brightened homes and businesses across North Florida, and now they're bringing the heat with full color landscape lighting. Light up your palm trees, bushes, pools, patios, barbecue decks, everything in orange and blue. Whether it's a back porch retrofit or a full custom landscape install, Gator Trim Light makes your home game day ready. Turn your patio into the ultimate victory zone and cheer your Gators on to a big win. Visit GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. Gator Trim Light. Let there be Gator Light.
Nobody does catering like P.F. Chang's. Elevate your gathering with our buffet-style catering pans. Packed with bold flavors and generous portions of your favorite dishes, we make it easy to serve and even easier to enjoy. From chopsticks to dessert, everything's ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. Choose individual meals, customizable catering packages, or build your own perfect feast. P.F. Chang's Catering. Your feast perfected. Order now at pfchangs.com/catering.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their meatball sub with fries or onion rings, topped with the house sauce and lots of melted mozzarella.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Craving real Cuban flavor? Come to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings you home. From our juicy roast chicken with yellow rice and black beans, our breakfast options to sweet plantains, empanadas, and our iconic Cuban cafecito, we've got what your taste buds are waiting for. And with 6 locations, there's sure to be one near you serving up warm hospitality and authentic breakfast, lunch, or dinner vibes whenever hunger strikes. So head over to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami. Visit miapalatincafe.com or stop by your nearest location today.
Just after sunrise, the lake is glass. No traffic, no noise, just you, a cup of coffee, and open water. That kind of peace isn't far away. With Radiant Credit Union's flexible boat financing, competitive rates, and quick approvals, you could be on the water sooner than you think. Make some waves with a boat loan at Radiant Credit Union. But hurry, our special rates only last until March 31st. Apply today at radiantcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Zach Albalverde. Weekdays at 4, right here on WRUF.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Don't forget all of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Meldon Law won't back down. And of course, all of our calls come to you on the Titan MRI imaging phone line. 3 locations in Gainesville to serve you, 1 in Lake City. You can find out more about them, titanmri.com. Let's bring in Arkansas softball coach Courtney Deifel to the show now. Arkansas is playing Florida both in baseball and softball here in Fayetteville this weekend. Coach, welcome. Glad to have you. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on today.
Okay, a Gators softball fan doesn't know much about your team. You're in the top 10. It's a battle of 2 top 10 ranked teams here. Tell us about your season so far.
The season so far has been going pretty well. I think we're 27-4. This is our 3rd SEC series, and we are coming off our bye weekend. So last weekend was our bye weekend. We hosted UConn and got to watch Florida beat Tennessee in the series. So obviously they're playing really well, and we've had some really great matchups with Florida. I think when you look at who we are as a team, we both are built really similarly. We have pitching that is strong. They give us a chance, just like Florida's pitching staff gives them a chance every time they take the field. Their defense handles the ball really well, just like ours, and their offense is crazy productive. So it's going to be a huge matchup. It's going to be really great softball, and that's the thing that you always come to expect with Tim's teams is they're coached really well, they're prepared, and it's just going to be who's better that day. So we're looking forward to the matchup.
Sometimes, Coach, I don't know if you have a player like this or not, but every once in a while there's a player that you see and you maybe think they're not going to contribute all that much, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they do. Do you have a player like that on your team at all?
Oh, that's kind of a trick question a little bit because, anytime we ask someone to come to our program, we're thinking they're going to contribute. I think,
of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're recruiting them to come contribute with our program. But I think that how I hear your question is, someone that maybe exceeded expectations or maybe took this level, and their transition, like I think that Brinley Bain as a freshman has, she's caught a lot of attention across the country. Did we think she could do this? Yes. That's why we recruited her to come in and make a huge contribution right away. But the numbers that she's putting up as a freshman and her composure and her demeanor and her competitiveness and all of those things and how it's playing out at this level, the highest level against the best competition, I think that she's caught a lot of people's attention and she's earned that.
The game has certainly changed. Back in the day, it was one dominant pitcher, maybe two. Now pitching staffs are really expanded. Is that good for the sport? Is it good in terms of having those arms you can rely on and different matchups you can go to as well?
Yeah, it's definitely a huge change in the sport from the time I played, for sure. I'm a lot older now, but yeah, the game's so offensive and it's so explosive and there's so much data and there's you can go on and on about how the game's getting more offensive. And to counter that, you're going to have multiple arms. And so you can't just rely on one. And there's a number of reasons why. I think, like the game, the travel ball, like just the wear and tear that you put, it's just a heavy load for one to bear. But also the game is just advancing with technology and data. And so it's just going to be harder and harder for one to carry that load. And I think that's what's been impressive. That's what I like to see in the depth of our staff, but that's also something that's been impressive in watching Florida's staff and how they stepped up with the injury to Ava Brown and what Rothrock looks like and what their entire staff is doing and how they're using that. I think we're all trying to change with the game. We've all been in it a long time, and that's definitely something that is changing in our game of how are we going to use multiple arms? How are we going to complement? How are we going to offset these explosive offenses? And so, yeah, it's still changing. I think we're still all trying to figure it out. And I don't know if it's good or not. It's just different. And change isn't always bad and change isn't always good. So we're still trying to figure out how this is going to continue to impact our sport.
Softball has grown. It's so popular now. ESPN has certainly helped that. The SEC Network certainly helped that. But in your view, Coach, why is softball so popular now?
Well, I'm biased. I think it's one of the most fun, dynamic, athletic sports that you have. And you have, the traditionals of really loving baseball. Well, when they give softball a chance, it's a faster, closer, paced game. There's no margin for error. Just the athleticism that these women play with is so impressive. And so I think it's just as the exposure continues to be more and more people see it, I think more people love it. And so it's just really catching on. And obviously I'm biased. I think it's the best female sport there is. Maybe the best sport. So I think that, once they get to see it more, I think they get attached. And not only are you seeing just a high-level athleticism and dynamic athletes, but you're seeing personalities, and you get attached to these players and who they are and how they play the game because you get to sit so close to it. And so I think that's why. I think it's the best sport. It should be popular.
Let me end with this. Do you think there'll come a day when fences get moved back, or do you like it where it is?
Well, I'm a pitching coach, so I do our pitching, and so I'm going to, again, have a biased answer to that. But I do think we need to look at, there are a tremendous amount of home runs. It's the technology of the bats, the data of the pitch shape and the usage, and the ball is really live. And our strike zones are very small. So I do think we need to look at the overall effects of the game and the scoring. Scoring made the biggest jump that it's maybe ever made last year, and we're already higher this year. And so we do need to look at all of those things for game lengths. And so I don't know. It's definitely a big conversation. I think we need to figure out, a lot of things in our game. So I don't know if that's the one to attack. I don't know if it's, looking at the strike zone. But we do need to look at how high scoring is and maybe kind of rein it in a little bit.
All right, let me end with this. If you I'll have you fill in the blank here, Courtney. If you come out on top this weekend, what's got to go right for your team?
Well, we're going to need to handle the ball really well. I think that Tim would say that too. We got to get timely hitting throughout our order, and we got to handle the ball. They're a team that's going to put the ball in play, and we can't give them more than they earn. And so I think that's the piece is controlling our side and handling the ball at a high rate.
All right, should be a heck of a series here in Fayetteville. Arkansas hosting Florida, both in softball and in baseball. Coach, I appreciate you taking the time. I know how busy you are. Thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, of course. Of course. It should be a fun one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Coach Deifel, Arkansas softball coach, done a great job here in Fayetteville. International Diamond Center email, Daryl says, what's the weather like out there? It was in the 80s when we got here. It's going to get down into the 30s at some point. It's been that much of a change. There was a heat wave across the country, and now cold fronts come. But it's supposed to be a little better by tomorrow and Sunday. But tonight, it'll be jacket weather here for sure. I don't think there's any question about that. Isaiah Brown, by the way, has announced he's going to come back and play for Florida for his junior season, I think it is. So congratulations with him as that roster now starts to take some shape. We'll take a break. We're going to have one more guest and then a segment where you can call in and email. I hope you'll do that. Bob Nightingale from USA Today is going to talk Major League Baseball because very quietly the MLB regular season has started and my Mets got a win opening day. Hooray. No wonder it's going to be terrible weather here. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator Sports, WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City, being pain-free is a short drive away, and they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
Gator fans, get ready to raise a glass for a perfect cause. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is teaming up with UF Gymnastics head coach Jenny Rowland to bring you 2 brand new limited time drinks. Feel the heat with the fiery flip or stick the landing with the perfect 10 margarita. And here's the best part. $2 from every drink goes straight to support the Gator NIL Fund. Sip, support, and celebrate Gator greatness. But hurry, these signature drinks are only available for a limited time at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where Gators come to win. There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe.
Yeah. Okay, I'll text him. Thank you. Yep.
Hear it on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Well, we are having trouble getting a hold of Bob. Hopefully he'll join us for the last segment of the show here. In the meantime, we will talk to you here. We'll open up our phone line, 392-8255. That's the Titan MRI Imaging phone line. International Diamond Center email, srussell@wruf.com. And you can also text us, brought to you by B&D Electric. Professional, reliable electrical service you can trust. You can schedule at bdelectric.com. So just text 352-325-3777, 325-3777. Put a name on it, and I'll read it on the air. So send us your questions that way as well. And I want to thank Fairlife Milk for sponsoring our clip of the day on WRUF, Facebook, and YouTube at WRUF Home of the Gators, brought to you by our friends at Fairlife Milk. Let's go to our International Diamond Center email. Mark says, what a time to be alive. Alabama guard Aiden Holloway has been granted his motion to travel out of state by a Tuscaloosa district court judge per court documents. Alabama plays Michigan tonight. I guess he'll be playing. I don't know if he'll play. But yeah, that's part of the world we live in with MRI, with all that's going on here with NIL is also courts. That's part of the deal here. By the way, did you know what school, what college has the most players playing right now in Major League Baseball? If you guessed Florida, you'd be right. The Gators have the most players playing in Major League Baseball right now. I think it's 12, I think. But that's pretty interesting. Says a lot about where the program is, certainly, and that's a pretty cool thing. I want to thank Quality Plumbing for sponsoring the show as well. When you need a quality plumber, rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted since 1984. Quality Plumbing, their name says it all. And Domino's sponsors us as well. There's one in your neighborhood, perfect for lunch, dinner, or those late night cravings. Nobody delivers like Domino's. Whether you're picking up or ordering delivery, it's fast, easy, just a click away. You can order now. Go online, www.gatordominoes.com. All right, let's get to our Titan MR Imaging phone line. Jimmy is there. Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, good day, Mr. Russell. I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that you were watching your Mets play yesterday while you were on the plane to Fayetteville.
You are wrong, because actually on the plane I slept quite a bit.
Okay.
But I did keep track of it, when we were in the when I woke up and all that. Yes, and I was shocked to see Skeens leave as early as he did. If somebody would have ever,
you beat me.
I would have.
Go ahead. You beat me to the punch again.
Yeah, but hey, it happens.
You beat me to the punch again. Chase Skeens off the mound in the first inning. He threw almost 50 pitches. I think gave up 2 homers. I think and 5 runs. That'll inflate his ERA to start the season, don't you think? A little bit.
You should see what it is. Yeah, I mean that's not going to be there forever, but yes.
No, right. No, I get you. Also, when Coach Wise was on, he basically echoed a sentiment that I thought, and I want to get your opinion on it. And I talked with Graham about it yesterday. Those final two possessions, I know we're a week removed basically from the loss to Iowa. But those final two possessions, I think they were just poorly orchestrated. Both our defense of Iowa's possession and our offensive attempt. Your thoughts on that?
I don't know about poorly. Could have been done better. Sure. But again, if you make the second free throw, a 3 ties the game, right? Nobody talks about that. That's part of that too.
That's a good.
It's also, going under the basket when you got down there, as opposed to leaving the ball for a big, because that's what Florida's bigs do. So, I get all the focus on one play, but, there were other things involved in that too.
Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. Iowa basically outplayed them. For the most part of the game. And that was tremendous. What did you say? The Gators have the most major league players, the former Gator players that are playing in the major leagues right now? That's a phenomenal stat. Absolutely. All right. Have a good weekend in Fayetteville. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, appreciate your call. Let's bring Corey to the show. Corey, hi.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Hi.
Hey, I'm calling from Orange Park. The signal out here in Jacksonville is really strong. I'm able to listen to you guys all the time during the day. But the ironic thing is, the minute it gets dark, the signal is terrible. First of all, can you explain that?
Yes, I can. Let me see if I can do this without sounding like an engineer. Stations, the FCC a long time ago set aside some things for stations to protect 50,000 watt AM stations. WRUF protects KOA in Denver, Colorado, believe it or not. It's an 850 in Denver. So if we don't change our power, then it affects them. So we have to directionalize on the AM side our power at night, and the coverage is not as much. I hope that explains it.
Okay. Conversation. Was that Lauren Hager? Was that Lauren Hager that you just had on?
Your phone's in and out. Repeat that, please.
The young lady that you just had on talking softball, was that Lauren Hager?
No, she was the coach at Arkansas.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear who it was. I agree. Defensive need to come back because remember when college softball first started, it was 1-0. I mean, you scored 1-0, the game was over. And now it's like, I mean, just look what Oklahoma is doing: 126 home runs.
Yeah, it's gone the other way. And I when softball got resurrected at Florida, I was doing the games, and believe me, there were a lot of 1-0, 2-1, hour and 45-minute games with slappers, and the ball hardly ever went over the fence. Well, the game has obviously evolved and changed, and maybe it's gone too far the other way. But the game is as popular as it's ever been. There's no doubting that.
And my last thing is, going back to the Iowa game in basketball, I thought about this and I've not heard anybody talk about it. Why would you not put the 7 on the inbound pass? Because even, as tall as he is, he may have caused chaos.
Well, to me, there's a lot of things woulda, coulda, shoulda. Again, you make a free throw and you make a 3, it's a tie game and you're still in the game. Nobody talks about that, for example. It was not the most well-executed play Florida's had overall. Let's just be honest about it. I think Todd Golden would tell you that. But, that happens. All right, Corey, thank you for your call. Appreciate it. Yep, thank you. Let's get Woody here. Woody, hi.
Yeah, hey, Steve. I really enjoyed your interview with Coach Reiss, and I just want to comment about the impression she's made on me. I watched the interview. Now I've heard her on the radio, and, not only does she ooze confidence and determination, and she has a pedigree playing alongside Dawn Staley in college and where she's coached and stuff like that. But when she's talking about her business experience and what she likes to do and stuff like that, she sounds like she has a different approach compared to someone who's only coached, and it's almost like she's going to approach this as if she's a professional basketball team ownership group, a one-woman ownership group, as opposed to the traditional, coach coming up through the ranks kind of way of doing things. And maybe that's what it's going to take, with this new environment, with all the money, plus the lack of success, the sleeping giant that Florida women's basketball is. She might be the secret ingredient that, gets this job done. Because why is South Carolina good? Dawn Staley. Mississippi State, LSU, Kentucky's been good. There's no reason why they've been good and we haven't yet. And maybe she's the secret ingredient. I'm pretty excited about her.
Well, she's said all the right things. She's delightful to interview. I love talking to her. I can't wait to have her in the studio and, hopefully have folks call her and ask her some questions. But, for all the criticism that Scott Strickland has received for some of his hires, and that criticism is warranted because some of those hires were not good at all. We'll see if the soccer coach, we'll see if the football coach, we'll see if the women's basketball coach pan out. Yeah,
pretty cool. And I really like that no-nonsense New York woman kind of, spiciness to her. She's very direct. I would love to play for her. I love what she's saying, and I hope some of these players stick around. We had a decent squad, just needed a couple more players, and maybe she'll make the difference. This is pretty cool. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you. Question from the text line: do you think the 3 basketball returns are independent decisions? Yes. Ultimately, you make a decision on your own. Now, if you're asking me, did Brown and Clavshar and those guys get together and discuss this? Maybe. I would have if I was a player. I'd want to know if they were going to return. So I think that's certainly possible. Do you think it's possible to get a push by the school to get Chinyelu or Condon to come back? I don't know if the school's going to push it, because I think a good coach allows a player to do what the player wants to do with some counseling. In other words, hey, if you're asking a coach, I think you should do this, you give your opinion, but in the end, it's the player's decision. And this person says it's like the old Force coming back. No, it isn't. It isn't. It isn't the same because they all, came back. They're not all coming back from this team, but I get the point that a group of them are coming back. That's a pretty cool thing. All right, we will have one segment. I guess we're not going to get Bob Nightingale, so we'll try to reschedule him for next week. And just a reminder, really appreciate all of our sponsors here on Sports Scene. And if you want to be part of the show, we'd love to have you. Just contact Freddie, 352-284-3733, and he will make that happen. We'll take our final break, come back as we come to you broadcasting live today from Fayetteville, but normally from the Gators Rim Light Studio and fueled by Southeast Car Agency. This is Sports Scene on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Bergen Ballison. On the diamond, Gators baseball is on the road in Fayetteville for their weekend 3-game series against number 4 Arkansas. After a rocky past few performances, senior Jeff Cardozo says he is hoping for momentum to hold the standards of Florida baseball.
You come here for a reason. Florida's got a reputation of being one of the best programs in the country. We expect to go to Omaha. We expect to play for championships, and we need to act like it.
First pitch on WRUF is at 6:55 tonight. Staying in Arkansas, Gators softball is also set for their 3-game series against the Razorbacks. They're looking for their second straight top 10 SEC series win of the season. WRUF coverage begins tonight at 6:40. And 13 Gators showed off their skills on Thursday at the annual UF Pro Day. Caleb Banks and Jake Sauter were among those who were trying to move their draft stock in front of NFL coaches and scouts.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
We sell more so you save more at the all-new Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC. New Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra, $349 per month. New Chevy Colorado or GMC Canyon, $239 per month. Plus, we'll beat any price from the Villages to Lake City to Jacksonville and everywhere in between at the all-new Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC on North Main Street in the heart of Gator Country and at GainesvilleChevyGMC.com. 36-month leases, $84.99 due at signing, plus tax tag, title, and dock. All rebates and incentives to dealer may include loyalty, subject to lender approval. Together, let's drive.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville and you'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable, and when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
In the heart of Gator Country, some things are built to last. Traditions, family, and real wood furniture. At Wood U Furniture, we believe furniture should be more than something you replace every few years. It should be something you pass down, built to last generations. Choose beautifully finished pieces or ready-to-finish furniture you can make your own. Wood U Furniture. Real wood, real quality, right here in our community. Come visit our new showroom on Main Street, just north of our previous location, or online at woodugainesville.com.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Hot this afternoon with highs in the upper 80s. Will stay warm into the evening. Mostly clear skies turning partly cloudy overnight. Lows near 60 in the morning. A front arrives tomorrow, becoming quite windy with gusts to about 30 miles an hour. Cooler temperatures as well. Highs for our Saturday in the mid to upper 70s. Staying breezy again for us on Sunday. High Sunday in the lower to mid 70s. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
Gator baseball plays here. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Yes, Gator baseball does play here and going to be playing here this weekend. By the way, Arkansas's 3 starters on the mound. We're going to start a righty tonight, 2 lefties tomorrow. The ERAs are 2.87, 3.86, and 2.70. So, this is not going to be easy here. But, we'll see if Florida can rebound from a poor performance in the SEC last week. If you're tired of big banks that don't know your name, meet Gala Bank in Gainesville. It's Gainesville's only local bank, locally owned and operated with over 350 years of combined experience, here to help neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets. Anybody can cash a check with us at no extra charge. Gala Bank. Find us at 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. Member FDIC. All right. We've got, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes left. Still time to hear from you. 392-8255 is the Titan MRI Imaging phone line. International Diamond Center email, srussell@wruf.com. Monday, we are back in studio, and we'll be there for the remainder of the week. And then 2 weeks from today, if all goes well, we'll be coming to you from Gator Baseball in Athens when the Gators take on Georgia. Reagan, I don't see a time for the hard out. I just see a 1. So just let me know when that is so I know, so I won't run up against Kevin's show. Don't want to do that. And I appreciate you doing that. And a couple of emails here to end the program today. Phil says, if Florida wins 1 of 3, is it a bad weekend? I've been asked this. No. Is it a good weekend? No. You don't want to have somebody beat you in a series, but it's hard to win on the road. So, your goal is to win the series without question. But if you only win 1, is it the end of the world? No, you just don't want to get swept. And that's what happened last weekend. Sweeps don't happen a lot in our league. So that's the thing that Florida's got to avoid. And what I'm looking to see here is 2 things. 1, can Florida start hitting better? I don't think Florida's been a great hitting team to this point. And then can the Gators starting pitchers get Florida to the 6th inning, to the 7th inning? Because their bullpen has been pretty lights out. All right, we'll get a final call here. Rob is there. Rob, hi.
Hey, Steve. Was there any talk about NIL? I didn't hear it with the basketball coach. Is there any NIL money waiting for her, or does she have to raise it all herself? I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No, she talked about it in the interview, Rob, that was a discussion point with Scott, and they will have NIL money. Now, how much they have, how much they have compared to South Carolina or LSU, I do not know. But I would also say this. In this day and age, if you're going to get hired at a Power 4 school, you've got to have NIL money. Because if you don't, a great coach can do some things on the court, but to get that talent, you need money now. That's just how that rolls. You think these teams that are left in the tournament, both on the men's and women's side, don't have money? Now, the women, you're not comparing apples and apples to the men's money, but in their world, still, you have to have the dollars. So I would think, Rob, I know from what she said that that was certainly a discussion point, and it should have been a discussion point because I don't know what coach would take the job if you weren't given some assurance that it at least wasn't going to be competitive in the NIL world. It has to be, and if it isn't, you're not going to be very successful for sure. We thank today Tammi Reiss, Florida's new women's basketball coach, for joining us live here on the show. Courtney Deifel, the Arkansas softball coach, joining us here today as well. And again, we could not get Bob Nightingale here to talk MLB, but hope to get him on here next week. Monday, of course, we'll talk all about this in terms of results, whatnot. Really enjoy both the women's and men's NCAA tournament. They were great games to watch last night. A lot of fun to do that. A couple of SEC teams play tonight. We'll see how Tennessee does, how Alabama does. But again, Iowa winning, at least it sort of makes it a little more palatable because they went on to win after beating Florida. Thanks to Reagan for producing today. Reagan, nice job producing both our final hoop there. And speaking of that, Jeff Cardozo and I very soon will bring you the On Deck show, where every week we will talk softball and baseball with you. Look forward to working with our broadcast partner with that program. But for now, we're done here in Fayetteville. Talk to you on Gator Baseball this weekend. See you back in studio on Monday. Don't forget, Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are next. Don't go away as you listen on WRUF Gainesville. So long, everybody.
From the first four to...
Good job, all. Yeah, it did.